Welcome back, everybody. One of my favorite things about the summer is eating fresh seafood, oysters especially, because on top of being delicious, there's something special, a social element that makes them perfect party food.
So here to share tips for entertaining with the mouth-watering mollusks is the front of house manager from Rodney's Oyster House, Julius Chapple.
Yay!
Hello!
Welcome!
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Julius, I have to admit I have never shucked in my life. Not at all. So I'm excited to first try it. So teach us the basics of how you do it. I've always been intimidated.
Okay, don't be intimidated.
Okay.
Shucking oysters, don't go fast when you're starting out. Once you've done it for years and years and years, then you can go super fast.
Okay.
Go slowly, get a good knife, good tip.
Okay.
You don't need to spend thousands of dollars, but don't use like a screwdriver or a butter knife.
Okay.
Okay, that's a bad idea.
Good call.
Every oyster has the same basic shape, right? There's a flat top, there's a curved bottom, and when we shuck, we just put them on a cloth. You don't,
The
like I said,
curved bottom goes on the bottom?
The curved bottom goes on the ground side, the bottom side, and then the flat part on the top. There's a little hinge, so the oyster opens up like that. And there's a little hinge at the pointy end. And that's what you want to break. And then the animal's held together by one muscle runs from the top shell through the oyster to the bottom. And you have to cut that. You refer to it. They're basically plants.
Yes,
Like if you're a vegan, you can't technically, but you can fool yourself into it. You know. So we put the tip of the knife in here. Most of the time when you cut yourself, it's on this shell. So you can just go over the top there.
Got it.
You want to make sure it's not going to move, and you put a little bit of pressure across. A little bit of pressure. You kind of wiggle it back and forth. Whoa, that oyster was ready to go. Then you just open the door. So you just twist the knife. You just open the door.
Open the door.
So we'll try this again on another one here. So if it's not opening, there you go. Just reset the knife and try opening the door again.
Okay. Here we go.
You got it, bud.
It's good. You can do it.
You believe in me. I'm going to keep working on this.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So we're just going to pop it open. There you go. Hey. So now you want to kind of lever and scrape that top muscle, and I'll get this oyster open. You can see that's right about there. It's kind of 230 off the center.
I did it.
There you go. You did it.
Yours is so pretty.
That's wonderful. Now you got to turn it because it's still attached, right? You got to turn it, and then you scrape the bottom one away the same place.
So it comes out.
So that it comes out, and then you can just eat.
Yours is so pretty. Mine's so mangled.
That's okay.
But
You're starting out.
Okay.
You're starting out.
Okay, now that we have them shucked, this is something I'm endlessly fascinated with, is how do you top them? Because I tend to go I just want lemon, maybe horseradish if I'm spicy. How do you top yours?
I'm with you. Lemon, maybe a little bit of vinaigrette, something with acid. You know, the oyster's swimming in salt water, so acidity and the salt, those pair really nicely together. But of course, you know, there's no wrong answer with oysters. You can put whatever you want on them. Hot sauce is very popular. There's all kinds of ways that you can eat a raw oyster. Yeah, exactly. Horseradish, always popular, and you just tip it back.
What? I love No, what I'm coming up with next is some people have this sort of technique where they say, like, you just sort of throw it down your gullet, and then the other ones are like you chew.
You chew.
So what is
you
the
You definitely chew. Otherwise, you're just having an expensive shot of seawater. It's crazy.
Thank you. I chew.
You don't want to spend 10 minutes chewing. You want just a couple of bites to release the flavor.
It was really nice, I gotta say.
Good.
Well,
good
people
work.
think of oysters as sort of like a fancy food dish, and they would never think about serving it at a party or so on. But they are actually quite affordable, and they are really, like, you can do so many different things with them. Like,
absolutely.
Tell us some things.
They're inherently social, right? You're eating them with your hands. The oyster doesn't care what you do for a living or what's in your pocket. So they're a very democratic food, right? And not only on the half shell, raw, which is sort of the purest expression, but you can do all kinds of stuff with them. Oysters historically were free protein in the sea, right? So a lot of old-time oyster recipes are they're playing the role of, you know, what pork or chicken or whatever might be. You know, we have a few different things here. We've wrapped some in bacon. Those are called angels on horseback. Bacon wrapped oyster, you just do that in a pan. There you go.
Angels on horseback.
The angel on horseback,
I haven't had this in years.
It's tremendous.
And I'm gonna have it right now.
We're making them eat, which is a challenge. You know, you can batter them and just pan fry them. Then we brought some oysters Rockefeller. You know, it's a little more decadent.
This was the first time I ever had an oyster was on one of my first dates with Jason, and I had oysters Rockefeller. It was like an entry, a gateway,
what a
oyster.
first date move, though.
Right?
Like, yeah, come on, let's eat oysters, baby. So oysters Rockefeller, rich. There's, you know, Parmesan and brandy and Pernod and, you know, Rockefeller.
Delicious.
So you can do all kinds of stuff with them. Put them in pies, bake them with eggs, like They're very versatile. Endless. Almost endless. Anywhere other protein is going to go.
I love
So
it.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kinds of drinks would you pair with oysters? Is there something that I hear that beer kind of goes well? A stout or something?
Guinness has had this marketing thing with oysters for like since 1883, 1834. Jeez.
Whatever.
Rattled, guys.
Yeah.
I'm rattled. So they've sort of bitten into that. For me, you want something that's going to do the same thing as a lemon. So crisp, dry white wine, Chablis, Chardonnays, not a ton of oak, not too heavy. You want it bright and sparkly. Champagne, obviously.
Yes.
love
bubbly.
that.
Champagne with anything. There's no failure as a pairing.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Let's talk about East Coast versus West Coast, not wrap, but oysters.
Oysters.
Because I feel like they're very different. I tend to gravitate towards East Coast oysters, which feel smaller and less, I don't know, briny?
Yeah.
Is that, what's the difference?
So there's only 5 species that we eat, but East Coast and West Coast oysters are different species. So they're gonna have different characters. That's sort of the broad brushstrokes.
Okay.
East Coast oysters tend to be kind of salt and gentle ocean flavors. When you get onto the West Coast species, we like to use Latin when we're talking oysters. We're not gonna do that today, but Latin makes you sound clever.
It sure does.
The West Coast oyster is more chalk and more mineral, so there's more of an intense flavor, sort of more rocky and deep sea.
And they look like, is this a West Coast oyster?
This is a West Coast oyster.
They look so different.
This is actually from New Zealand, so in the southern hemisphere.
Whoa.
This is one that they roll. It's a tumbled oyster, makes it look kind of pretty. These guys over here also, so genetically these are all the same oyster.
You can tell kind of.
Just the water is different.
The water's different and how the grower grows
How
them.
would you even eat that one?
That's more of a challenge.
You imagine?
But people that like big oysters, when they see a big oyster, they get really excited because a lot of the time it's just little ones, right?
I get intimidated by a big one.
Yeah, it's that's a little bigger than I'm
It's
good
true.
for. Yeah.
Now, Julius, confession here. I used to shuck oysters
did?
at a restaurant, and we thought it might be really great television for someone who hasn't done it for 20 years to challenge a professional on live TV.
Wow.
To win oyster shucking competition.
I love it. I
You
love
accept
it.
the challenge.
I accept the challenge, but you know what? I think just to make it fair, I think I should have a bit of a handicap.
Okay.
I wonder if there's someone in the audience or on the set that might have a blindfold.
This is yes. Tommy! Tommy to the rescue. That's very nice.
That's very nice.
That
Give that
seems
to her.
fair.
We're gonna give you this knife if that's okay.
Okay.
Do you need to practice? Do we have time?
Can I use this guy?
Yeah, if
this
you
is
want-
the one that I was using before.
if you're
and it
happy
seemed
with
to
that,
be-
you-
You felt good.
Okay, let's start.
Okay,
So-
get that on there.
Okay.
Make sure that you're not cheating
we're
at
gonna-
all. We've got 30 seconds on the clock. Are you guys both ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
In 3, 2, 1, shuck!
Okay. It's dramatic TV. Ah. Whoa.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it was very tight, and I will say that
Great.
Jess did too. I was amazed that you got 3 done, and you like actually made them like they are edible now. You are the winner.
You can eat them.
We are going to eat these. You are the winner, and congratulations. Amazing job.
Cheers. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. That was so much fun. Now, we want to let everyone know that they can come and see you at the Ontario Oyster Fest in support of the Ecology Action Centre. The event is taking place on Sunday, July 21st, and tickets are available online at rodneysOysterhouse.com/Toronto.
That is correct.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so
So
much for
delighted to
having
have
me.
you.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.